Hello, thanks for joining me for today's edition of Status Strength. Status Strength is a strength and endurance program, but we do the exercises very slowly and carefully. So we won't be doing a lot of repetitions. We'll be doing 2 sets of each exercise, and we'll be doing a cycle that will address all the major muscle groups in the body. But we'll be doing the repetitions very slowly and carefully. So we'll start today with a squat. I'm going to attempt to get my entire body on the screen. The technicalities of the video camera, it tends to be beyond me sometimes. We'll start. Take a look at your feet. They should be a little bit wider than shoulder width. We want the inside lines of your feet roughly parallel. And we're going to just shift the weight side to side. I'm going to shift the weight to the outside of my left foot, inside of my right foot, and then opposite. And I'm just feeling into my feet. I'm feeling into my ankles, feeling into my legs, my inner and outer thighs. A lot of times we talk about, if I'm going to do something for my inner and outer thighs, it needs to be something specifically targeting those thighs. And that doesn't have to be the case. When we stand, we are targeting the thighs. The inner and outer thighs need to contract and release in various levels of intensity in order to help us to stand. So we're going to squat down here. Notice when you squat down, your knees may fall in toward the center if you're not careful. When you squat down, make sure that you're squatting and the knees are coming over your toes. As you stand, see if you can tuck your tailbone under so that you can straighten through your hips. So I'm going to squat down, press into my feet, make sure my knees are over my toes, and stand and squeeze through the gluteal muscles, through the butt cheeks. Sit back, press into my entire foot, stand up. Sit back, pressing into my entire foot, stand up. We'll do 2 more of those. Here's 2. Now really stretch through your outer thighs. Feel your outer thighs here. Press down into your feet and stand up. One last time, squat down. Push into your feet to help yourself stand nice and tall. From there, we'll warm up the upper body with some shoulder shrugs. Now, I've got those light weights on my hands. The weights I'm using are about 2.5 pounds right now. And just shrugging my shoulders back. Notice my palms are turned out to the sides. I'm going to do about 4 more of these. And again, I can tune into my feet, pressing into the inner edges of my feet, pressing into the outer edges of my feet. And notice that I can work the inner and outer thighs. I'm going to rotate forward now and notice that I've changed my hand position. I can also press into the inner and outer edges of my feet. I could also press my knees apart. You're not going to see a whole lot of movement here if you're watching me, but I'm engaging my thighs. Let's do 2 more of these and 1. And engaging my thighs helps me to stand taller. It also helps me to utilize my gluteal muscles, those butt cheeks. We'll come back into our squat repetitions for set 2 here. So taking a look at your feet, roughly a little more than shoulder width apart with the feet, but make sure that the inner and outer lines of the feet can be felt, that you're mindful of those. And can you put a little bit of weight to the inner midlines of the feet and the outer lateral lines of the feet. And from here again, we squat down, press into the whole surface of the foot as we stand. Squat down, press into the whole surface of the foot. Squat down, take a look at the knees. I want those knees over the toes. And notice too, that rear end sticking out in the back, that's fine. Stand it up nice and tall. We'll do 3 more of these. Here's 3. Press into the feet, work the thighs as you come up, and then squeeze the glutes at the top. Here's 2. Stand it up. Last 1. Now push the feet apart here as you stand. Push the feet apart. Push the feet apart. Pull the feet together. Push the feet apart. Pull the feet together. Push the feet apart. Pull the feet together. We're going to do 4 more of these now. Again, use the entire surface of the inner edge of the foot. Use the entire surface of the outer edge of the foot when you push apart. Pull together. Exhale, push apart. Inhale, exhale, pull together. Inhale, exhale, push apart. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhale, exhale together. Exhale apart. Last time, exhale together. And exhale apart. And from here, we'll just stand it nice and tall and shrug the shoulders back. Rotate the thumbs so that they're facing away from the body. So as I exhale, I'm pulling my shoulders away from my ears, contracting through my abdominal muscles. I'm also, as I exhale, squeezing the inner lines of my feet together. So here's 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. I'm going to rotate my hands now and shrug forward. And now as I exhale, I'm going to push the outer edges of my feet apart. Shrug down for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And relax. From here, I'm going to bring my shoulders, my elbows, so that they're shoulder height. I want a straight line from my elbow to my shoulder, to my shoulder, to my elbow. Now, I'm going to change, I'm going to cut my arms off, I guess. So I'm dropping the elbows so that they're shoulder height. As I exhale, I'm pushing into my feet and pushing my fingertips away from my shoulders. Inhale, exhale, push. Inhale, exhale, push. As I inhale, I relax. As I exhale, I send the rear lateral lines, those RLLs, down into the floor. So from my shoulders, I'm going to take my shoulders and send them down to the outside edges of my heels. At the same time, from the shoulders up to the outside edges of my fingers, I'm reaching up. So when I inhale, I relax. When I exhale, I extend up with my arms and extend down from the shoulders to my feet. We'll do 4 more of these. Extend. 3 more. Extend. We've got 2 more here. Press up with the elbows. And 1 last time. Release and extend up with the elbows. Now hold your arms firmly. Hold your arms firmly. Can you contract through your triceps for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1? And relax. From here, I'm going to have you reach either for the wall or you can reach for a piece of furniture, something to help you with your balance. Now, you may not need to use this the whole time, in which case feel free to release. However, have it nearby so that you're not preoccupied with the balancing function. And it's a wonderful thing to practice balance, and we are practicing balance. But at the point where you get distracted from the movement itself because you're worried about the balance, in my opinion, that's when we use the block or the furniture or whatever. Regain your balance and then start again. So we're going to start with a leg curl here. I'm standing on my right foot facing you. My left knee is going to curl. I'm just going to bring the heel to my buttock and extend behind. Squeeze, extend behind. Now I want to try to avoid arching my back here, so I'm going to lean slightly forward at the waist. Whenever we lean forward at the waist, we're squeezing with the inner thighs. So I'm going to imagine that I'm squeezing the inside lines of my feet together and holding a bar between my knees. Here we go. Last 4, squeeze and release. And 3 and release. Last 2, engage your inner thighs. Release. Last 1 and release. And we'll step side to side. And I'm going to step now onto my left foot. My right leg extends behind. Same idea here. I'm going to think about engaging through the inside lines of my feet. And I can think about, perhaps now, the front medial lines. The front medial lines of the body. So the collarbone is going to extend down to the pubic bone, down to the inner edges of the ankles, down to the first 2 toes. And that's where I'm contracting to help with the balance. So I curl, extend. As I exhale, curling up, and maybe this time focusing on the front medial lines, driving down with the front medial lines. We'll do 4 more of these. Extend. Here's 4. Exhale, extend. And 3, extend. Last 2, work those inner thighs, front medial lines. Last 1, and extend. Now we're going to continue with the leg work here. I'm going to bring you into a leg extension, also balancing here. So I'm going to step back onto my left foot, bend my right knee, rest my hands on my hips, or anytime I need to, rest my hand on the furniture or the roller or whatever I have here to help with my balance. I'm going to extend my leg out and bend the knee. So as I inhale, I lengthen nice and tall. As I exhale, I can work those rear lateral lines. As I inhale, I can work my front lateral lines. Inhale and think about extending up through the hips, through the shoulders, all the way out through the crown or through the sides of the face. So I exhale, rear lateral lines. Inhale, front lateral line. Exhale and inhale. Exhale, rear lateral line. Inhale, front lateral line. We'll do 2 more. Exhale, rear. Inhale, front. Last time, exhale, rear. And step side to side. Go ahead and switch sides here. Coming on to the opposite leg now. So I'm going to really feel into that right foot, feel into the inner edges and the inner thighs. Standing nice and tall, squaring off the shoulders. As I exhale, rear lateral lines. Inhale, front lateral lines. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, lengthen up. We have 4 more. And inhale. And 3. And inhale. And 2, rear lateral line, ground down. Last time, 1. Maybe hold it onto that leg for a second. And then stepping side to side. So hopefully heart rate's getting up a little bit. You're feeling a little bit of a challenge here. I'm going to come back to those hamstring curls. So just going to rotate in the opposite direction now so that you can see. And I'll start again with my left leg so that the leg is extending down. I'm going to curl that back leg up and bend slightly forward. Remember, when I'm bending slightly forward, I'm going to work the inner thighs here. So I'm imagining that I'm squeezing against a bar. So curling up. As I exhale, extending down the front medial line. Inhale, if you want, you can think about extending up the rear medial line. Exhale, extend down front. Inhale, extend up the back. So exhale, squeeze the inner thighs. As you inhale, if you're thinking about that rear medial line, you're separating the right side of the spine away from the left side of the spine. So as I exhale, I'm bringing the front midlines together. As I inhale, I'm pulling them apart. Let's do 2 more of these. And last one. Step side to side. Allow some blood to get back into the supporting leg. And step onto that right foot here. And think about this before we move on. Just think about front medial lines. When we exhale down, we're going to work through the inner thigh inside of the foot. When we inhale up, we're separating the sides of the body away from the spine. I'm sorry, the midline of the body. And here we go. Exhale, inner thighs, send them straight down. Inhale, extend up and out through the spine. Extend up and out through the spine. So you've got so much to work with here. As you exhale, you can always think about pulling the navel toward the spine. And notice how that stabilizes your upper body. We'll do 2. And last 1. Stepping side to side. Coming back to the left foot. Bringing that knee up to roughly hip height. It doesn't have to be perfect. And just extend out. Exhale. As I exhale, I'm extending down and out. As I inhale, I'm lengthening through the back. And you can think about pulling the gluteal muscles away from the spine on the inhalation. So exhale, ground down. Inhale, widen the spine. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, widen and lengthen. We have 2 more. Oh gosh, I think we have 3 more. I'm sorry. Here's 2. And last 1. Go ahead and step side to side. Here's our last major leg exercise here, stepping onto the left foot, extending the right leg. As we exhale, pressing out through the front medial lines. Inhale, extending up through the rear medial lines. Grab your roller or your furniture whenever you need to. We have 2 more to go here. Hang in there. There's 2. And last 1. Nice job. From here, again, step side to side. Now, I'm going to grab some slightly heavier hand weights because this next exercise is a back exercise. And our back, the muscles in the back, are quite a bit larger than the shoulder muscles and the arm muscles. So where these smaller weights might be conducive for the smaller muscles, the back muscle is a very large muscle. If you have your hand weights, use them. If you want to supplement, here's where you're going to supplement with some heavier weights. Now, when I lean forward, we've already talked about leaning forward and how that forces us, how we really have to use the inner thighs to support the lower back when we lean forward. So as I lean forward, I could come all the way to 90 degrees. I don't think that's necessary, and I'm not going to do that. I'm at maybe 60 degrees. Hands are dangling. I'm going to start by shrugging the shoulders back. And when I shrug the shoulders back, I feel that little pocket where I can insert the shoulders and stabilize. The shoulders are going to stay right where they are. I'm just going to pull up using my elbows. So the muscle that's allowing me to pull my elbows up is a back muscle. The trapezius, it's a big back muscle. It goes all the way down the back. And if we're not mindful of what we're doing, the trapezius muscle will, the upper trapezius muscle will begin to take over, hunching the shoulders forward. And I don't want to do that. So here's 4. I'm squeezing my inner thighs together to support my lower back. Release. 3. Release. Exhale. Squeeze my thighs together. Pull my navel toward my spine. Last 1. Hold it up right here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to come down into a modified plank pose, so a kneeling plank. I'm going to bring my feet up just to make this slightly more difficult. Notice here that wherever my hips are is going to affect the difficulty. If the hips are back over the knees, it's going to be a little bit easier. If the hips come forward in front of the knees, a little harder. And if I extend all the way flat, so my hips are as far away from my knees as possible while I'm still on my knees, it's going to be most difficult. Now again, rotate those shoulders back, tuck them in the pockets, and pull your shoulder blades down to your lower back. Nice deep breath in. As we exhale, pushing down. Now we're bending slightly at the waist, so squeeze your biceps and shoulders toward each other. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Can you push your hands and arms away from each other and then bring them together as you push up? Inhale, push away, widen. Exhale, contract. Inhale and exhale. Each time you exhale, you can also think about pulling the navel toward the spine, firming up through the waist and core. Here's 3, and inhale, and 2, and inhale, last 1, and inhale. Nice job. So from here, we're going to step back up onto the feet. We're going to come back to our shoulder presses. If you recall, we were doing those shoulder presses earlier. Take a few deep breaths here. And again, think about front medial lines, exhaling and stabilizing, grounding, and rear medial lines as we inhale, lengthening and expanding and opening. And now we'll bring our hands, our elbows back to shoulder height. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, front medial lines are driving down from the collarbone, from the shoulder up. Those front medial lines are directing up. So as we exhale, we extend down from the shoulders, we extend up from the shoulders. Inhale, widen. Exhale. Inhale. So each time we exhale, front medial lines, bring them together, both the arms and the legs. And inhale, widen and separate. Exhale, together. Inhale, widen and separate. We have 2 more to go. Here's 2. Release. Last 1. Release. And relax. Turn to the side. I'm going to switch positions here so that you're able to see what I'm doing. Coming now into a forward bending position. And again, I could lean over to a rough, to keep my body parallel to the floor. That's difficult to do. You are certainly welcome to try that. But at some point, if you start feeling your lower back, I don't think that it's worth it personally. So wherever you are here, as we exhale, we're squeezing the inner thighs together because we're bending forward and pulling the elbows back using those trapezius muscles. As we inhale, expand, widen the back away from the spine. Exhale. Inhale. One more repetition. We're going to pause right here. Can you shrug your shoulders back? Tuck the shoulders in the pocket. We're going to do 5 more repetitions. As you exhale, pull the navel toward the spine. Inhale, relax. Exhale, 4. Inhale, relax. Exhale, 3. Inhale, relax. Exhale, 2. And 1. Here we go. Tiny pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. I'm going to put my weights to the side. Come down onto the hands for one more set of push-ups, plank modified push-ups here. I'm going to be on my knees. Again, I can place my hips further and further away from my knees to make this more difficult. So you choose what's appropriate for you. And I'm going to bring shoulders, shrug them down, slide them away from the ears, and tuck them in the pockets on the back. Here we go. Come down, exhale. So as we inhale, widen the back away from the spine. As we exhale, use the midline. Squeeze everything toward the midline. Don't forget also If you're like, oh, this is tiring, it is hard. Pull your navel back toward your spine. Always something you can concentrate on. And if it's bothering your chest, if your chest is getting fatigued, see if you can turn your attention to something else for a moment. Here's 2 and last 1. Now, push the hands together and backward. Push the hands together and backward. And on your next inhalation, you come back up onto all fours. Sit back on your heels. Bring your hands back by your feet and give yourself just a moment here to allow the heart rate to come down. And we'll come back up to an upright position. We're going to work triceps here. And I'm just going to have you loosen up the arms, shrug the shoulders back, square off the shoulders. I'm going to slide the arms behind and just extend the arms and bend the elbows. Extend the arms. So I'm holding those arms behind my back and just extending backward. So when I relax, relaxing at the elbow, the shoulder stays stable. Exhale. So let's do 5 and relax. 4, 3, and I'm kind of just letting everything sink on the down motion because I want you to see that we're holding those shoulders stable throughout. Last one right here. And relax. I'm going to alternate that exercise with a bridge and an abdominal exercise. So the bridge, let's start on the ground. Knees are bent, reach my arms to the outsides of my heels and lift the hips. Now, as I lift, I'm reaching my knees away from my hips. My knees are reaching to the opposite wall. And then I'll inhale, widen through the spine. Exhale, rear lateral lines are driving down to the outsides of the heels. Inhale. And I'm going to take a break right here. Start to think about the rear lines. We're working the back of the body. So we can think about those rear lateral lines grounding down. As we inhale, the rear medial lines are going to extend up. So if you take your attention to the inside corner of both heels, as you inhale, think about lifting up with the inside corner of the heels. As you exhale, lengthen down through the outside corner of the heels. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you can lengthen those rear medial lines all the way up and out through the crown of the head. We always lengthen up on the inhalation so that the entire cycle of breath is active. Here's 4. Inhale up. And 3. Inhale up. and 2. Last 1. From here, bring the knees into the chest, roll the body to an upright position, and we're going to come into an abdominal exercise here, boat pose or Navasana. Now notice with boat pose, I like to keep the hands linked underneath the legs. You can certainly make this more difficult. However, I would prefer not to sacrifice accuracy and attention for difficulty level. There's nothing wrong with it. And you certainly can do that. My preference is going to be to keep things slow, to keep things mindful, and to keep things meaningful, to pay attention to what I'm doing. So as I exhale, can I turn the attention to the front medial lines and the rear lateral lines and draw down? As I inhale, I'm going to start at my hips. My front lateral lines are extending up and my rear medial lines are extending up. So you can think about exhaling, there's an apex in front, and then inhaling, there's an apex in back. Exhale, pull the navel toward the spine. Inhale, widen through the front lateral lines. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, ground down. Rear lateral lines, front medial lines. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, pull the navel to the spine and ground down. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. And from here, we'll come to an upright position. 1 more set of triceps, gluteals, and abdominals. And we'll be done. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. So again, I'm going to square off the shoulders. Extend the arms behind. And bend the elbows. And now I extend backward. Inhale, release. Extend backward. Inhale, release. And in. So as I exhale, rear lateral lines, front medial lines, inhale, extend up. Exhale, extend, ground down. Inhale, lengthen up. So let's do 3 more of these. Release. And 2. Release. Last 1. And release. Shrug the shoulders back a few times and forward a few times. We'll flip over onto the back for our bridge repetitions. Walk your feet backwards so that you can feel the outsides of your heels. Again, fix in your mind your front medial line and rear lateral lines. Those are going to be directing down as we exhale. So as we exhale, remember there's that apex here, front medial and rear lateral. Inhale. Exhale, push down toward the floor. Inhale. Exhale. And as with the vertical position, as we exhale, we're going to send the knees down, or send the inner thighs out to the knees and down to the floor. Send the backs of the outer thighs out to the backs of the knees and down to the outside edges of the heels. Here's 4. Inhale. And 3, ground down. Inhale. There's 2. Last 1. Now send your knees away from your hips for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And relax. From here, bring your knees into your chest. Roll the body to an upright position. One last set of boat pose. And again with boat pose, inhaling, feeling the belly as we exhale, pulling the navel back to the spine. So remember, each time we exhale, we're going to send those medial front lines down, pushing through the tops of the feet. We're going to send those lateral rear lines down, pushing through the bottoms of the heels. Here's 4. Inhale, lengthen. Here's 3. Ground down. Inhale, lengthen up. Here's 2. Ground down. Last inhalation, lengthen. Ground down. And we're going to drop down for 4. 3. Tuck your tailbone under. 2. Keep tucking your tailbone toward the backs of your knees. I think you can hold this for 4 more. And 3. And 2. And relax. And we'll finish out on the floor. So just enjoy the silent stillness and feel into the body, noticing whatever it is you notice. I think I must not have worked triceps in a long time because my triceps are already tightening up. So I'm going to breathe into my triceps because that's what's calling my name the loudest right now. Calling my name most loudly. And as I commence with the diaphragmatic breathing, as usual, so we've worked up a little sweat or we've increased the heart rate a little bit, the body tends to adopt diaphragmatic breathing a little more innately. One thing I love about strength and resistance training is just that delicious heavy feeling I feel in my muscles when I'm done. So see if you can't move your awareness through your body, beginning at your shoulders. Just touch the insides of your shoulders with your attention and relax the corners of your shoulders, your biceps and triceps. Touch the insides of your forearms, front and back, and your palms, front and back. Go to the eyeballs and touch the eyeballs with your attention, relaxing and allowing the eyeballs to sink into the sockets. Relax the jaw. Touch the sides of the neck with your attention as you relax the neck. Relax the left side of the chest and the right side of the chest. the left side of the belly and the right side of the belly, the left thigh, left shin, top of the left foot, right thigh, right shin, top of the right foot. Give yourself a few more breaths here, allowing the front of the body to sink to the back of the body. And then bringing yourself back from Shavasana with a long stretch. You can yawn, small movements back and forth with the head. Feel free to bend your knees whenever you're ready and gently roll your body to one side before bringing yourself back to an upright position. So resistance work is so beneficial, helpful for strong bones. And it really does, I feel, help us with flexibility. I think it increases flexibility simply because when you contract tightly, which you have to do when you're holding a weight, you contract a little more tightly than you're used to. I think the more firmly you can contract, the more space you have to open and the more flexibility you can gain simply because of the opposition. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you can join me again tomorrow at 7 a.m. for AM Status Hearing. Namaste.